Why modern transportation sucks. As I park my car, I'm here to say that there's absolutely no reason for anyone to be driving a car in the 21st century. Okay? There's absolutely zero reason for anyone to die or get injured in a car accident in the 21st century. There's absolutely no reason for anyone to wait for long hours behind traffic in the 21st century. We humans do two things, okay? We do two things in life. We move and we interact with the environment in which we are in, you know? We do two things. We move and we interact. Okay, one of those two things is moving, transportation. Look at the way our transportation system functions right now. I don't know if you know, but the number one cause of death for young people is car accidents, okay? 1.3, 1.4 million people die every single year around the world from motor vehicle accidents. That's around 1 9/11 every single month in America. Just to point it out, just to show how misprioritized we are, how bad our priorities are politically to, bring about positive change. When do you hear politicians talk about reforms for the transportation system to change our infrastructure and the design concepts needed to reduce deaths from motor vehicle accidents? No, all they talk about is like, we need to do something about taxation and job creation and all this nonsense that really has nothing to do with the real world. Because as I mentioned in other videos, job creation is a ridiculous concept. The only thing that actually creates jobs is money going into your industry or being moved out of your industry, but also problems create jobs. So actually, if you remove problems, you remove a lot of jobs as well. So that's why if you fix a transportation issue, if you make transportation more fluid, you remove car accidents, you remove all the horrible things that happen as a consequence of an inefficient transportation system, guess what? You're going to lose a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs and economic growth will be removed right away if you actually solve these problems. So here's the few things we can do, right? To reduce deaths or even accidents in general. First of all, it's no new concept. Self-driving cars. I think cars should be self-driven at this point. There's no reason for anyone to get behind a vehicle because humans are flawed. We make mistakes, okay? We might be tired. We might be on medication. We might be old. We'd be distracted, might be angry, moody. There's so many variables that are outside of our control that we just can't fix. Like, I could be the perfect driver. Following all the rules, and somebody behind me might be distracted and smash right into me and kill me. How is me being a responsible driver going to remove that risk of me getting killed by somebody else? No, it's chaotic. It's a free-for-all out there. When you drive on the road, it's a free-for-all. Anything can go at any moment. You can die at any moment. You can get into an accident at any moment. Your life can be taken, or your loved one's life can be taken. How is that a safe transportation system? The only thing we can do to fix things is to reduce accidents through a threat of punishment, right? That's what our entire society is based on that. Oh, we're gonna threaten you with a violation or a ticket or going to jail, so you better drive careful. Has that actually worked? Has that actually reduced accidents? Has it reduced fatalities every single year by car accident? Not really. Defensive driving, all these point system that they use, the reward and punishment incentive system has not actually done anything to change things. Because, like I said, humans are flawed, man. Humans are flawed. We make mistakes. Machines rarely make mistakes. If it's intelligently designed machines, don't make mistakes as much as humans do. Very rarely. So we should put the responsibility of transportation in the hands of machines. Okay, self-driving cars, and even better than that, one step above that, I think we should remove 80 to 90% of automobiles on the road. 80 to 90% of automobiles should be removed from the road and instead replaced with holistic transportation systems, okay? I wanted to also add this side note. When I talk about like self-driving cars, what I'm not proposing is the idea of having a bunch of billionaires own a bunch of, high-tech car companies where they have all the power. No, what I'm talking about is like the socialization of life necessities. I say this all the time. Socialize life necessities, and transportation is being one of the requirements of life to be able to move around easily. It could be something like, everybody can have an iPhone or a phone, whatever, a smartphone that is made in a local distribution center. They pick it up, and they want to go somewhere, they get on their phone, they call the car to come pick them up. The car is basically an object that is owned by society, not by an individual. And that makes it easier. If you understood how private property is such a bad concept, property is a bad concept because everyone has to own one of everything, which is resource inefficient, wastes a lot of resources, and also it's a burden to have to own a bunch of things. If you don't own a car, it comes, picks you up, drops you off, and goes after the next passenger. You don't have to worry about that car. You don't have to worry about insurance, repairs, everything else that comes with having a car. So owning less things actually makes your life more liberating, makes you more free to move around and do what you want to do, to enjoy life. So yeah, we can reduce probably like number of cars by 80%, 90%, and just have a small amount of cars pick people up. Because think about it, 80% of a car's lifespan is just spent sitting somewhere doing absolutely nothing. So that 80% of time could be spent picking other people up and driving them, delivering them to where they need to go. And the car itself can be, sent to a station where it can have its battery swapped automatically. All the repairs can be done automatically. I mean, things can be so fully automated. It's mind-boggling to see us still functioning in this medieval kind of like rate of operation. Is really mind-boggling and painful to see it, to be honest. So anyway, as somebody who advocates for a better society, that's one thing that's very important to point out. And the fact that we have to stop giving so much power to these billionaires, these big tech companies that promise us a better world. Oh, because we're coming up with all the technology. BS. No, man. We can do much better. We can do much better, basically. But anyway, there's all kinds of things on the horizon, all the technologies that we have available to us. Maglev trains, high-speed, efficient trains that already exist in Japan and China. They have the bullet trains. There's absolutely no reason for us not to be able to install very efficient and self-managed transport systems with high-speed trains in LA, for example. If you spend $13-14 billion on an aircraft carrier, what reason would it give us not to do that, to completely restructure and transform the transportation infrastructure, especially in LA, a fucking wasteland of a place. I mean, I lived there. It was atrocious getting around from point A to point B. It's almost impossible to get around without having to hit bumper-to-bumper traffic on a daily basis. We're talking about people's lives being wasted. We're talking about literally a high percentage of people's lives being wasted in New York, LA, wherever you're at. If your job is having to commute a long distance to work, think about, add those hours up. How much of your life is wasted sitting and doing nothing, sitting in a fucking car behind somebody else, just looking, into nothing. Yeah, the amount of human life wasted, the hours wasted, the amount of people's lives lost, destroyed, from car accidents. I've lost personally a lot of good people in my life. People close to me have died. My great-grandfather got run over by a car. My grandma got killed in a car accident. Literally, my best friend was my grandma. She got killed. I've had friends who died, from drag racing and doing stupid things, when they're younger. It's just a terrible tragedy, and we don't look at car accidents as unnecessary violence. We look only, if somebody pulls out a gun and shoots somebody, we only look at that as a form of violence. We don't look at the fact that, okay, if you could have transformed the transportation industry, the infrastructure decades ago, but you didn't, because you had car companies, lobbying in Congress to make sure that they get what they want, which is keep selling their bullshit cars. Well, that's what happened in LA. These car manufacturers, they lobbied so hard to remove plans. There were actually plans on the table to install trains, holistic transport in LA. But all those plans got scrapped because, again, we live in capitalism. We live in a system that is based on institutional self-preservation. So all these companies are going to do whatever they can to maintain their positions of advantage, to keep selling their junk. They don't want change, okay? And they don't want fluid adaptation. It's not their fault though, okay? At the same time, we can't blame any institution or people because hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game, okay? The game is about competition, self-preservation, and selfishness. That's what capitalism thrives off of, okay? So we can't blame, these companies for what they do. we have to advocate for change. We have to advocate to our fellow human beings, around in our communities, to change the dialogue, okay? To look at a lot of things as unnecessary violence, okay? Heart disease, for a 40-year-old man to die from heart disease and when he's angry all the time because he's not being loved and taken care of in his community, is not feeling himself fulfilled, that should be seen as a form of violence. Somebody dying in a car accident at 30 years of age because of the fact that we have a terribly inefficient and ineffective transportation system, getting killed in a car accident. That person could have lived to 80 years of age, but he died at 30. That's 50 years of life removed unnecessarily. That should be seen as violence as well. For people to sit in traffic for hours and hours and hours, destroying their posture, destroying their spine, sitting, which is a really bad thing for your health, to be sitting like this in this position. Me as a fitness coach, I know how bad sitting is for your life, for your health. It's actually bad for your heart. You increased chance of stroke and heart attack for people who sit for long periods at a time. That should all be seen as a form of violence. A lot of this stuff is unnecessary. So that's the point of this video, basically, that we can radically and very rapidly change things for the better. But I'm not asking for people to go into Congress or to politics to change things. No, I'm asking for them to put this form of conversation out into the public, for people to understand that we need to completely transform the way we discuss and look at reality. The way we look at reality, the way we perceive things, the way we communicate with each other, it should all be improved upon, okay? It is a design revolution that we need. We need a design revolution to completely redesign the way we move, redesign the way we transport things and how we move things around. And that's going to be a topic of a way, way larger video. I plan on making a video in my main YouTube channel with blueprints and documentation and videos depicting what an intelligent transportation system would look like, which is not what we have today. Forget about America. Go to India or Pakistan. Look at New Delhi. The amount of traffic, insane amount of traffic over there, and the air pollution and the smog. It's just insane. Every car should be electric. Trains should be more proliferated. There should be a lot more high-speed, holistic transportation options available to people. That is the way a civilized society functions. But we don't live in a civilized society. We live in an anarchy. Well, I'm not using the word anarchy in a bad way. I'm using the mainstream form of anarchy. We have nothing but chaotic and just an unstable society, and from every perspective. So that was the topic of this video. Transportation system needs to change radically if we want to actually improve our living conditions. Again, car accidents are one of the major sources of death for young people, and it's just a tragedy. We don't see it that way. We look at car accidents, it's just like, oh, it's just the way things are. So and so died in a car accident. It's unfortunate. No, man, no. I look at a lot of things as unnecessary and actually completely changeable. We can prevent a lot of the stuff, a lot of the suffering that happens. But it comes with a new frame of mind to realize what's going on. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful. I'll be posting some new videos soon. All right, peace out. Drive safe, I guess, if you can. All right, peace.